I'm Abby,
And I'm Anna.
and this is Serious Beef.
Welcome.
All right.
Any idea what episode this is? I just sprung it on you.
I
She
do.
knows it. She's prepared.
I title the files.
Okay.
This is episode 41.
41. Look at us go. Okay, excellent.
That's
excellent.
true. So
That's exciting news.
Well, yeah, it's been a busy day.
It has been a busy day for you.
It has.
And me, true. It is Boss's Day. Actually, we're recording on Boss's Day, so it's October 16th or whatever. So you went into the office.
I did. I had to go
Which
to the
you
office.
don't rarely, you don't normally do.
Yeah, I
that
don't do
sounds
that
better.
very often.
And so you had a good time. Do you have a beef?
I do.
What is it?
My beef is with Missouri drivers. Okay.
I'm not going to argue with you on that one.
Hey, listener, if you are from Missouri, I don't mean to target this at you, but Missouri
drivers
has the worst drivers.
They've got some crazy ass drivers. I'm telling you what.
You got to be aggressive when you're driving in Missouri.
I guess.
You have to be aggressive because other people will be aggressive. You gotta assert yourself. You have to be confident. Things that I am not when I'm driving. Okay.
Things are not when you're driving. I will tell you, I was on the phone with you while you were driving, and I do recall you having a bit of a scare, kind of a little bit of a yell, and then because the person who was in like three lanes over,
all the way in the far left lane,
decides to cross all of the lanes
cross
and
four
exit.
lanes and exit right then. I'm like,
In
what were
front
you
of
doing?
you, in front
what
of
were
you.
you doing?
Yep.
What were you doing the whole like last 20 miles,
Yeah.
buddy?
You were prepared. You were slowly moving your way over.
I know.
To exit, but not this guy. Good
Plan
luck, everybody
ahead.
else.
You literally, plan ahead. Plan ahead.
So Abby goes into a bit of a rant
I do. I basically
about
yell.
Missouri. That she's yelling. I had to
the
turn my
whole way.
phone down because I was
Right.
like, Abby's
Well, that's
okay.
actually how we kind of started the phone calls because, like, I know we say that we started it during COVID, but that's actually not 100% true.
It's not true.
I would call you because I had to drive like 3 billion miles every time I would get a new job, wherever it was.
It sure seemed like it, right?
Yeah, and I was driving all the way up to like Godfrey for a bit,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
all the way to like other side of like St. Louis, but like north when we moved.
Okay.
When we moved to the woman's basement.
Oh yeah.
God bless.
Right.
And
And it wasn't until you started taking the Metrolink then that you had a much shorter drive
Yeah.
up to the Metrolink station.
yeah,
and
so we didn't really because
then
I
you
didn't
got sent
have
home.
service on
So,
the
and on the train, and you don't really want to be on the phone yelling
Right.
and all the time.
Right.
Somebody, well, the rest of the riders are like, keep it down. So yeah, it definitely started right after you graduated and you got your first job. I think, yeah, it was the phone calls. I have many messages. I've kept them all. That's why my phone keeps saying it's full.
Yeah, the
Like,
You've
get
Got
some
Mail
of those messages.
The You've Got Mail episode is one of our most. It's I think maybe the second most
I
popular
think
episode.
we need to revisit it because I have a lot more messages.
Well, I'm
we
sure
could
you
play.
I'm sure you do.
So Missouri drivers, you didn't have a good time on the drive-in.
No.
Not a fun
I
time.
can't stand them.
And I will say, Sam has commented on when she used to drive into work about the crazy Missouri drivers
Now-
as well.
I will say, I don't know if this still holds true,
Okay.
but once upon a time, a few years ago or so, there was a study came out, maybe not a study, but just like results came out as far as insurance and insurance premiums and things like that for like car insurance.
Oh, okay.
And I believe at the time, Missouri had the highest like premiums and cost of insurance because they get in the most accidents.
Really?
Like on average and whatnot. Like if you kind of
Wow. I would have thought it would have been like LA or Chicago.
Nope.
Wow.
Missouri literally are the worst
Well,
drivers.
you told me that you were driving to Indiana
Yeah.
and you were
Oh yeah.
in Indiana. You were in Indiana.
Listener Emily, we were heading from her wedding.
Oh, you were coming back. Okay.
We're coming back and I'm
You're still in Indiana.
I'm in Indiana. I'm
Right.
minding my damn business. Okay? We're on a stretch of highway, 2-lane road. No one but me and one other car. And this fucking car would pass me and then slow down. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, now I gotta go around.
Right. Then you gotta go around. Yeah.
All right, 15 minutes later, now they're gonna speed up, they're gonna pass me. And I'm like, what in the fuck is going on? And let me tell you, when I tell you that this was a Missouri driver, that's not like me being like, oh, this Indiana driver's really, no, the license plate were from Missouri.
As soon as you saw it was Missouri, you're probably like, oh, well, that explains it.
I literally was like, I can't get away from these fools.
People are following me.
I'm in Indiana. I'm an entire state over. There's an entire state between us.
Between you. And they followed you all the way there. Darn.
Unbelievable.
No luck.
I
No
was so
luck.
angry.
Yeah. That's why I only drive to St. Louis on a Sunday to go to the Fox because I don't have near the traffic or craziness. And honestly, half the time I make you or Sam drive anyway, so
It's
all
true.
good. It's all good.
It's
Yeah.
true.
And now, listeners, I will tell you that Abby is a good driver now. When she was first learning, it was so funny because I taught you and Sam how to drive for the most part. And I can remember telling you stealing a line from SpongeBob, "Big toe, Abby, big toe," because she would just like, we're like, okay, we're put the seatbelt on, put the blinker on, put it in park, and we would just take off. And I'm big toe, Abby, big toe. And finally, she got the hang of it, and then we were good.
I now put my chair all the way back because I've got long legs.
You do,
and so that I can just the front of my foot.
so big toe.
Yeah,
you can
big
big toe
toe.
it.
Yeah.
There's the secret.
It's also
Okay.
I also don't like having to drive like and sitting in like a squat.
Eating
you know
your
what I mean?
knees. Yeah, your dad
Right.
drives with his knees up in his chest, I think.
I know.
Yeah, he sits close. I don't know why. And he has crazy long legs.
Now Ashley has very short legs, so
and I
every
do
time-
too, so I'm up pretty close.
Yeah.
Now, but that's the key, folks. If you have a heavy foot and you don't want to get a ticket,
Just pull the seat back.
just put your seat back.
Put your seat back.
There you go. That's it.
I'm not saying
Excellent.
lean it back. I mean slide
Right,
it
right.
back.
Don't like lay down and take a nap.
You see me driving horizontally.
Right.
Mind your business.
Mind your business.
Oh.
What plates say Illinois? I'm safe.
That is so funny. Well, I told you the story this morning. Like that was podcast content.
She always does this, folks. She tells me a story, and then I'm like, "That's quality podcast content.
Right.
Save it."
So, well, I was telling you about when I was in driver's ed in high school, I was driving with whatever teacher, and I'm like, this wasn't my first time out,
Right.
You know,
and you've been out with us too.
right?
So, yeah.
Exactly. But this woman, this teacher. She keeps saying, "Okay, now use your indicator. Use your indicator.
Use your indicator.
indicator." Okay.
Who says that?
Now, here's the thing.
Who calls-
I know now.
we know
that
now
is a blinker.
That's your blinker. But who calls it an indicator?
Right. 15-year-old me did not
Abby's looking
know what
around
the
for
fuck it-
something labeled indicator.
I got to a point, we were at like the doctor's office, like parking lot, because we were
Okay.
just practicing parking
Sure.
and whatever. And there came a point that I was like basically just like frozen almost. Because I knew that she was going to tell me to use my indicator.
Again.
And I just could not figure out what she wanted.
Okay.
I didn't know. Now, I'm
And you
using
didn't
the
wanna-
blinker the
and
whole
you didn't want
time.
to ask because
No.
it's embarrassing.
No,
Right.
I don't want to ask because I don't get points up. Well, you don't want your indicator? Like,
That's true. You don't want points up. That probably was more important.
right. And so I'm like,
But you're using the blinker, so she's
fixing
fine.
it. Right.
Yeah.
She just keeps like reiterating, use your indicator. And I didn't have a clue. I was like,
Okay.
I'm
so
gonna
how
get-
did you figure it out?
well, I think she finally said something like, your turn signal. And I was like, oh my God, like, fucking blinker. What is wrong with
everyone
you?
calls it a blinker.
Oh, I mean, even like I said, a turn signal.
Yeah, turn signal would have been okay. Indicator
And
is
she
terrible.
kept saying indicator. And my face had to be like, what the fuck? Because
I
I'm
don't
like,
know what she.
I'm literally like staring at the steering wheel, like looking over all these things, like,
What is it?
and the car that I was driving for driver's ed, that school had,
Sure.
was newer than like
Yeah, 'cause
the
our-
truck or
our-
whatever.
Yeah, our crappy car that we had to drive in.
Yeah, the Ford Ranger
Yep.
that I like practiced driving in, and there's no cruise control or nothing on actually
Nope.
there's cruise control on that.
There is cruise
But-
control, and you're lucky there's power steering on that because the first car I learned how to drive on had no power
power-
steering, and you cranked that steering
That
wheel.
it did not have all the bells and whistles.
No, not at all.
By any
It's
means.
your seriously your most basic.
You can
vehicle.
you can hit the little seatbelt button, like the unhook button.
Yep.
And
And it wouldn't beep.
it wouldn't be.
Yep, that
You
would
don't
shut
actually
off-
have to put your seatbelt
that
on.
would
You
shut
just
off
hit
the
that little.
beeping.
Yep.
The car makers are onto us now because
Yeah.
that doesn't work anymore.
No, it doesn't.
You have
But-
to actually hand crank the window down.
You do.
too on that
Yep.
car. Yeah.
And the thing is that so I'm like maybe it's this new car. Maybe there's
Something
a
special.
button on
Okay,
here. And
okay.
I was at a loss. So I finally figured it out. I was just like, you gotta be shitting me. What
You-
kind of lady? Like, lady, what
First
are you
of all, who says that? And especially to a teenager who's
Right.
learning, that's not what they're going to call.
doing? No,
So that's pretty obvious.
no. It don't say indicator in the driver's ed book.
It's true. It
says blinker or turn signal.
True.
For
true.
God's sake.
Even
Help a girl out.
the rules of the road or whatever are it's gonna say turn signal.
Right. Do you got any good stories?
Well, I'll tell you. I actually have two. Once when I was you actually just triggered a memory of driver's ed.
oh,
Okay, and I went to Althoff in Belleville. So my friend, Jan and I have birthdays real close to each other in December. And so we got to take driver's ed at the same time because back then there was, there were a lot of kids and you had to take it as like who was going to turn 16 first.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so we got to take it together. And we did the driving part during the school day. And then after school, we had to ride the bus down to Belleville West and do the class part and do it after school because Althoff didn't provide it.
Right.
Okay, so I'm in the car. It's my turn to drive. She's in the back seat. And we're just like, this is awesome because we're together. We could turn on the radio and I'm so excited. And the driver's ed teacher, which I have no idea what his name was at this point, was like, let's not worry about the radio. I'm like, man, that's some good songs. Let's get my tunes.
Let's not worry about the radio. Like, what? The person who's sitting in the back seat, what do you mean? I'm not doing anything.
He let us have it on, but of course I was cranking it up and he was like, no, we turn it back down.
You cannot hear me tell you to use your indicator.
He never said indicator, thankfully, because I would not know what that was. So we go out, we drive, and then we would go back to the school, and then we'd swap. Okay, so I'm driving, I'm fine, out on the roads, whatever. We get back, and he has me, like, go around the school, and I'm going, like, way too fast.
No.
And you hear the tires squeal. It's like around the corner, and she has a backseat. She's holding up with both hands, like, and of course he's like, slow it down. Like I'm flying around the corner.
That's hilarious.
And so, that didn't make me look too good that day. But, oh God, I just remembered that. I forgot I kept flying around the corner. Too fast. Anyway, so the other story, you were with me. And
I was not in the car.
You were in the car with me.
Oh, you're right. I was
the
in
second
car.
story.
I remember.
You were with me, and we were driving up to Edwardsville because Liv was there, and we were going to get her for something or go see her for some reason. And
I was probably hanging those damn shelves in her room that I hung every single fucking year.
That's probably it because only Abby knows how to hang shelves in our family.
Why?
I don't know why. You're the handy gene that your grandpa had, skipped everybody and went to you. So you got the handy gene.
I don't have no handy gene.
You got it.
I just wing it.
It skipped your dad and you got it. You're handy.
No. The instructions on how to install the garbage disposal come with the garbage disposal.
Apparently, maybe you're the patience gene that Grandpa had skipped.
Could be that.
No,
it's definitely not that one.
Because you're the only one that's willing to take the time to read the directions.
I do just want to know about a lot of stuff, which actually ties in.
See?
But I want to hear about your driving.
You love to learn. Okay. So anyway, you and I are driving to Edwardsville. We're on whatever that road is that goes up there.
That's 255.
Interstate. It was at 255. Okay. So there's 3 lanes.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm in the middle lane because I had just finished passing someone. Okay, who was in the right lane. And all of a sudden, here comes this dude flying up on my rear end, and he goes to the right lane and passes me.
Yeah.
And I was so shocked. I'm like, why would people ever pass on the right? There's a left lane. Go to the left and pass away. And then
we just start laughing.
You and I, we kind of looked at each other and we realized what I said. And then we were like crying, laughing.
Go to the left and die.
And pass away. So it ended up being so funny. We're like laughing all the way up there. But it's funny because I guess I say stuff like that and I don't realize I'm doing it because one night I was like, you know how you have like acid reflux or whatever, and I had to get up in the middle of the night.
Sure.
And I went downstairs and I was sleeping in the recliner so I could kind of be elevated a little bit, right? And laying there. And at one point, Liv comes down and uses the bathroom. And then your dad comes down and he wakes me up to ask me if I'm okay. I shit you not. And I'm like,
I'm caring.
Exactly. And so then he goes back up to bed and I'm laying there thinking, why can't people leave me alone and let me rest in peace? and as soon as I thought it, I just like start laughing. I'm downstairs. I'm downstairs in the basement, in the living room, just like all by myself in the dark, laughing at what I've just at my own thoughts. So I'm cracking myself up even as I was trying to sleep. So anyway,
oh man, that's pretty good. Well, I do have I got a zodiac today too.
Oh, do you?
Well,
do you want to do that, or do you want to say the secret sauce?
You know what? We should maybe say the secret.
You know
sauce.
what? We came up with the secret sauce in honor of Ashley's tragic driving accident with the sauce packet.
The secret sauce is marinara sauce.
Marinara. And I know we've told this story.
I think we have.
I'm pretty sure we have.
And I'm not sure, but I'm not 100% sure. But Ashley, or everything, isn't here today
Correct.
to tell me that I
the
can't tell it or that I can tell it. So I don't want to tell it just in case.
So maybe we'll wait. We should ask her.
We
I
may
thought
have
we
already
told
we
it.
may have already told it. So we're
Okay.
being cryptic for no reason.
Right. But Ashley
marinara sauce.
Ashley had an accent with some marinara, and so we said in honor of
It's true.
in honor of Ashley, we will
the sauce will be marinara sauce.
There you go.
Well,
Okay.
so the horoscope that I've got today, our zodiac, is which practical mode of transportation are you?
Which practical? What if I want to be an impractical mode of
Well,
transportation?
I'll be honest. I've kind of looked at the list here. I don't know that these are.
Oh, you don't know if
particularly
these are practical? Okay, well, let's
Right.
hear it then. Let's see.
Well,
We'll be the
right.
judge of that.
This once again comes to us from the Scarlet and Black Independent Student News site of Grinnell College.
That is a huge mouthful of words.
It was. The
That's
Scarlet and Black is the name of the student newspaper.
okay.
They provided us with the cryptid. They provided us with the cryptid zodiac.
Yes,
They
which
cracked me
was
up.
excellent. Yes.
Short, sweet, to the point, funny.
I like it.
I liked it. All right. Well, up first, here we go. Practical modes of transportation.
Okay.
Aries, you are the Tesla Cybertruck.
How is that practical? I'll agree with you.
Here we
Right
go.
off the bat, not practical.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Okay.
You are slightly controversial, but no one can deny that you are a trailblazer. Just keep owning who you are, and people will come around to your genius eventually.
Okay. Excellent.
All right. Taurus, submarine.
Okay. who labeled this practical? Actually, I'm cool with it. I want it to be an impractical mode of transportation.
I thought that the title was funny because it said practical, and so I was like, okay, these are gonna be really lame.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that'll be funny because they'll be lame.
They'll be super lame.
But no.
No. Fantastic.
So yeah, Taurus,
right,
you're
okay.
a submarine.
Moving on.
Usually your moves go undetected, but when you make yourself known, you loom large. Your your simple exterior hides the complicated workings within. We hope you aren't planning anything too sinister.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was cracking up because listener Brittany is a Taurus,
Oh,
and she messaged
okay.
me today with the secret sauce, right?
Okay.
Naturally.
Awesome.
And,
Awesome. Way to go, Brittany.
Yep. And today is the episode. The cryptid episode came out.
Okay.
And so she goes, number one, I am Bigfoot. I was dying. And he goes, and number two,
I love
red
it.
wine vinegar.
Okay, excellent.
So that cracked me up.
Way to go.
All right. Gemini, tricycle.
Tricycle.
That's Sam.
That's Sam with her long legs.
You're in touch with your inner child and you like to stay down low where it isn't so scary. So soup up your ride with some sparkly tassels and a bike horn that isn't annoying at all.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
All right, Cancer, pedal boat.
Like a paddle boat.
Nope,
They call
pedal.
it pedal boat.
Pedal.
Okay.
Like when you're
Yeah.
yeah,
I always used
foot
to call it-
pedals.
I thought that was a paddle boat. Oh, no. Paddle boat has the big thing in the back end. The
Correct.
big paddle. You're right. Pedal
yeah,
boat.
pedal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Dan and them got one of
They
these.
have a little
Yeah.
pedal boat. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's super practical. That'll get you where you're going if you're in a hurry.
You heavily relate to Tanya from Mamma Mia. You thought this was a really good idea. You thought this was a really good idea before you started doing it. We just
True,
hope,
true.
Yeah, we just hope you can own up to your actions and finish what you started. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I hate it.
It's so exhausting. You get out there in the lake and like, son of a bitch, I gotta now pedal this thing back.
You're tired. We went fishing up in Minnesota. Pedal all the way out there. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, go
Now-
sound exactly
Yeah.
like.
We did. And we
Yeah.
go fishing on. Now I gotta pedal my ass back.
Yeah, you gotta pedal your ass back. There was like 4 of us on this.
You
we
do
went out
not
there.
move
No, we
fast.
did it right. Okay, you're right. You move quite slow. Somehow we've hit 4 of us in this thing. It was Dan and Kate and myself. Mm-hmm. Okay, and Luke.
Yeah, we did the same thing.
Yeah, and so we did at least trade off pedaling.
We didn't.
Oh, see, we did because I'm a big wussy.
Kate,
So
Kate
they
and Luke
traded
were
off.
much younger at this time.
Oh, there you go.
So it was
so
just
was you and Dan. Well, they were much older when I was there. So,
Yeah.
they did.
I
They
was-
did most of the.
well, I
pedaling.
had just graduated. What?
8th grade, maybe. Or it was before high school.
It's got to be.
Had
Yeah.
been, yeah.
So yeah, they were pretty young.
So they were pretty young then. You're right. You're right. Anyway, pedal boat. Yeah. Not,
all
a,
right.
not a practical mode
No.
of transportation.
No.
All right.
All
Here
right.
we go.
Leo, hoverboard.
Oh my God.
You are-
I'm dead. These are not practical. Fantastic.
You are the quintessential trendsetter, and you think that you look cool doing it. Regardless, we know you have some smooth moves.
Awesome.
Virgo, unicycle.
Unicycle. Yeah, that's practical.
As a very practical sign, you decide to take energy efficiency even further. You not only save gas, you save materials while looking funky and fresh.
Just one wheel,
Just
not two.
one wheel. Oh,
Okay. Libra. She can't even say it, folks.
you are Libra. You are the Venetian gondola.
What? That's worse than a pedal boat.
Ruled by Venus, it's in your nature to go above and beyond to set the mood. Winky face. Impress your lover with this sick ride. All you need is some music and brie.
And brie. Yeah. It would be fun.
Scorpio, you are stilts.
Stilts. Genius. Awesome.
There's no such thing as a tiny step for man if that man is a Scorpio.
Awesome.
They really should have sent you to the moon. You will do anything to maximize your movements. We just hope you have a good balance.
Oh, goodness.
Sagittarius?
Your mama would never make it.
No.
Okay, Sagittarius. What am I? Got my fingers crossed. I know what I want.
Feet.
Feet! Oh, man.
If you're so independent, then why rely on anyone or anything for transportation? All you need are your own 2 feet and a compass. All set.
Lame. That
so
was
mad.
lame. Finish up and I'll tell you what I
So
wanted.
sorry.
Let's see if it's in the list.
Capricorn, Segway.
A segue. Well, so that's actually a little more practical.
Paul Blart Mall Cop who?
That's awesome.
You innovator, you. You decided to take traveling on foot to the next level and become a human on wheels.
I mean, that actually is a little bit practical.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Aquarius,
Okay.
Heelys.
Heelys. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
You were definitely the most popular kid on the playground, right, Aquarius? You never settle for the mundane, especially when it comes to your shoe choices.
That's so low.
Pisces, parasail.
Parasail. Okay.
You
Yeah.
like to go with the flow. We catch your drift, Pisces. Your mind is always in the clouds, so why not join them yourself? All right, what did you
Parasail.
want?
I wanted a hot air balloon.
I knew you were going
Son
to
of a
hot air
biscuit. That would have been cool.
Well, I mean, that's just it. I think that I think that
I
that
could
would
fly
make,
it myself.
You can
I could still
travel.
be
You can
independent.
travel. You can see all the
I
things,
know.
and you
Be
go
up in the clouds. How cool would that
right.
be?
You're just kind of going with the flow,
I'm disappointed.
and it relies on fire.
My own 2 feet fire. Oh
You
my
gotta-
God. That just triggered something. I've been triggered twice now, but it's not been bad stuff. It's been
No.
good stuff.
Okay.
Do you know that as a kid,
Okay.
this probably happened to you too. As a kid, you have a bear that tells you that only you can prevent forest fires.
Smokey.
Smokey the bear tells you only you can prevent forest fires. And then can you
pressure.
imagine? Can you imagine as a kid? Why was I chosen? How can I possibly prevent forest fires if I don't live anywhere near a forest?
See,
I
I
live in
think-
the middle of Illinois. There's cornfields. That's what I've got. I've got no forest. I can remember watching that. Like you would see it on TV. Like, only me? Why am I the chosen one?
I assumed he was talking to somebody else.
I totally thought it was me.
I was like, I'll go in the woods.
Abby's like, he's talking to my sister.
Only you. Okay, I'm doing my part. Like, I ain't lighting shit on fire.
I was like, no one else in the entire world can prevent forest fires but me.
You.
That's what I thought.
See, I didn't quite have the exact same issue.
Okay.
The issue that I had was I really thought that I was going to be on fire or stuck in quicksand more
It's true.
often.
It's true.
Yeah.
You learn the stop, drop, and roll thing
So much.
every year
and
in
I get
school.
it. I get why.
And it's important.
It
And
is.
as an adult, you're like,
because
okay,
if it happens, you need it to just be muscle memory.
yeah,
Just to
you
act.
gotta be able to do it. Yeah, and not
But
panic.
I really thought that I was going to be on fire.
So
a lot.
yeah, you spend your childhood thinking, I am gonna catch on fire, and I'm gonna need how to do the roll. Yeah. I need to stop, drop, and roll. Roll. I gotta roll around.
I
never
thought-
caught on fire. Yeah.
No.
Thank God, and I hope I never do.
Well-
Let's keep the streak alive.
And I thought quicksand was
And
going to be a bigger
quicksand,
issue.
100%. That
It
was
just
going to
kind
be
of came up a
huge
lot.
issue. Why do you?
Yeah.
It was in like every TV show. Somebody was caught in quicksand.
Quicksand. It's in The Princess Bride.
Yeah.
I really thought it was going to be more
It's
of an issue.
in the
I
Never-Ending
wasn't.
Story. I mean,
Yeah.
it's in a whole bunch of stuff, and you think, oh my God, what am I going to do if I'm in quicksand?
Which number one thing is don't panic.
Absolutely, don't struggle. Just slowly sink to your death.
There's like a whole thing that's like you need those like big silos of corn and whatnot.
Yeah.
Things like that. People fall.
that in this area is an actual
Yeah.
reality.
They have
And that-
they have like
isn't that
safety
a-
training on it. What you're supposed to do, how to get
if
out.
you get sunk in
Because it's basically the same thing as like quicksand.
right, and you're gonna suffocate in there.
Yeah. A lot of people die.
That is a terrifying thought.
Isn't it?
Isn't it?
I'm not going to no silos.
No, thank you. Not for me.
No thanks. Well, this actually is perfect because so I went in the office today, right, and I'm talking to my team.
Okay.
And we just kind of got off on multiple random tangents.
While you're at work today? As you do. You know,
And-
it's normal life, right?
100%. And it just occurred to me that I just know a lot about very obscure topics.
You know a lot about all kinds of topics.
Sure.
And you know what's funny, because Liv and I were just talking about this the other night, that how different you guys are. You're so alike in some ways, and then you're very different in other ways.
Oh, yeah.
And when it came to school, you know, Liv hated school.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it was just the struggle to get her to do her homework, but she wanted to get good grades.
Right.
So that, you know, Sam basically wanted to prove to everyone that she was the best and she had to be perfect.
Yep.
And she's absolute people pleaser, you know, and so she had internal motivation
Yep.
to do the best. Okay?
Right. Her motivation for doing well in school was just to say that she did well
Yeah,
in school.
she did it. Yeah.
I just like learning.
And then there was Abby, who just loved to learn.
Right. I did
And
well
you
in school
had-
because I just absorbed everything.
You had amazing comprehension.
I do.
Yeah. How lucky is that? What a big, I mean, honestly, what a gift.
Oh,
Truly.
Well,
Because
go on,
there are
go
kids.
on.
You are. It's amazing because there are kids who couldn't do that, and they would have
Oh, well, we
loved
talked
it.
about.
So
I think
it is a gift.
we told the story about the book report that I did. I think like fourth grade. I was like, we worked through the first chapter. She's like, you read it.
You're good. You're good.
But I just like remember stupid shit. Like I'll look things up for some reason. Then you get like in a rabbit hole. You know, now I'm on a Wikipedia rabbit hole
It's
and I'm
true.
learning about random shit. But so I was gonna ask you what obscure topics you know about. So I have,
And I
have
feel
some-
like I don't have any obscure
and-
topics that I
but-
know about it.
and we talked about this. Like you know a lot about like children's books and children's book
For
authors.
sure. We talk whenever we would play. We told you this earlier. Whenever we play the Trivia Pursuit game, like the only category I did well at was the literature category. Yeah, especially if it was children's books. Then I would like knock it out of the park. Now I haven't taught in a long time, so I'm not up to date. You know,
That's all right.
and that's okay. There's no test, thankfully. So I'm
The,
okay.
the old information still holds strong.
It's true, and it's kind of like honestly, it's just kind of like stuff that you're interested in. I guess that's stuff that you know about, right?
Well, 100%. Well, and that's the thing. So when I was writing down what topics do I know about, I skipped over things like Godzilla, Dungeons and Dragons, graphic design, right? Because
Those are the obvious.
These are the
Everybody knows
obvious.
you love those things,
right, everyone knows I like those things,
Right.
and one of those is my work,
And that's true too.
So
You're
I
right.
should
because
probably know those
because I could have said loans, but boring. You know, again, it's my work. so-
Useful
It
information.
is.
But,
it is.
Well,
It's true.
So I've got aqueducts.
Oh,
I know,
okay.
I know a lot about aqueducts.
Okay. Now, why do you know a lot about aqueduct? Now, I know you like Rome. You like
I
history
do.
about Rome.
I do like history, Joe, which actually is part of the
Which
issue.
so maybe you've gotten.
well,
Did
no,
you get that from that? Did
Nope.
you get it? Now, Monty Python and the Life of Brian.
Nope.
They're complaining about the Romans, and
I
they say,
know.
"What have the Romans ever done for us?" And then they're like,
Besides
the
roads and aqueducts.
aqueducts. and they start
All
listing all this
shit.
stuff off. I was like, "Is that why you like? Or you
No.
know about a lot about? I won't say you like aqueducts,
It
but
is.
you know about them."
It is entirely because I DM on every other Thursday, and
Yes, you
Ashley
do.
DMs on the other Thursdays.
And I get to play when Abby DMs. So
Yes.
that's exciting.
and so I have like built this whole world that we're playing in, right? Because
True.
when you're playing, you can get like a pre-made world or whatever and just run in that, and there's tons of stuff like that for D&D. But
Okay.
a lot of people make their own. Ashley made her own. Now I have made my own.
You've made your own, and it's pretty cool, I will say.
But I get kind of stuck on the details. Okay.
You are detail oriented.
So I've got effectively 10 different regions in this world, and each one is like unique, right? And one of them is in a like swamp kind of area, and it's very like acidic. And I was like, can my people who live in this swamp actually live there
actually live
and
in
drink
the swamp?
drink
Okay.
this water? Because they can't drink the water because it's too acidic.
it's too acidic, right?
So I was like, is there a like medieval or way to purify water? Aqueducts.
She found it.
Figured it out. So yeah, no,
And
the way
hence you've learned a lot about aqueducts.
right. So
Okay.
it goes down the. You imagine it's like a step system, right? As it's
Okay.
going down, it like pools and it catches stuff settles like sediment when it settles, keeps going down, settles, goes down, settles,
Oh.
and so
And
it
the
purifies.
impurities settle out.
Yep.
Oh.
Aqueducts.
By the time it reaches wherever
Yep.
people are,
Yep.
you have clean running water.
And that's how they also do. They set up like irrigation systems,
Oh, okay.
so you could like water your crops.
Wow.
Not in my world, but
Not in
that's not what they
Abbey
use it for. They're in a swamp. Well, we're not.
Right. But other worlds.
But
worlds
yeah,
have used
so
it.
so at least 3 of these things on this list is solely because of world building.
You had
and
to learn
I
it to
wanted
build
to
your
figure
world.
it out.
That's actually awesome, though.
So
Right.
yeah, so now we know aqueducts can purify water.
Wow. And if you're in a pinch, you have to build an aqueduct.
Right. If you're in a pinch, I don't fucking know how to build aqueducts.
Come on, Abby.
I just know how they work, but I
you
don't think I
need to
could.
learn how to build them. We never know. You never know. What if we need to know?
What if we need
She makes
to
a
know?
note. Learn how to build aqueduct.
Another thing I have is we talked about I've got my desert people,
Yes.
you know, that live in like the Badlands kind of sort of thing, and
Oh, for sure. I know what you're
yes,
gonna say.
yes, and I had to decide if these people could like survive. Okay, like if there's no like plant life, what do we got out here?
Right.
We've just got like cactus. I'm like, well, can you survive on cactus? Can you like open it up and and drink like the water out of it?
Okay.
Because that's the first thing. I'm like, well, yeah.
That's what everybody thinks, that you just cut it open
Yeah.
and get water from
No,
it.
you can't.
Yes, no.
It's also
You have educated me on this.
Right, it's also too acidic, and it would dehydrate you more if you drank it.
Oh, that's a
and
shame.
it is in some cases more of like a hallucinogen.
Oh.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So you can't be hacking on that saguaro.
Now you
cactus.
can eat like if you cut off like a
The
big
pulp.
old leaf or whatever.
Oh, no,
just-
the leaf.
Yeah, well, like just a big old chunk of it, right? And you can like grill it and stuff. You can eat that.
Oh.
Yep. There's tons of there are a lot of recipes.
So you can cut a chunk out of, say, the saguaro, the tall. Those tall ones with like the arms.
The plant
You can cut a chunk out of it
and eat it.
and eat the pulp. They say, I think it's called pulp or whatever. The meat,
Sure,
the meat
yeah.
or whatever that's inside. But you can't drink any water that will come out of there.
I mean, you could drink it. It's going to dehydrate you.
I understood. But the meat of the cactus, wouldn't that be full juicy like that water? Wouldn't that do the same?
I don't think so because it has more nutrients in it. Like the
Okay.
water that's being stored in there has kind of been like sapped of a lot of its nutrients and whatnot. That's what's being stored.
Okay, understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
So-
but you said there is a way to get water from cactus.
There is because I needed to know.
And
I
I
was like,
remember this now that you've told me.
so cactus have very wide branching root systems. All desert plants do because they're seeking.
They're more shallow, right? And they just
Yes.
spread out. Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't go super deep.
Correct. So they're out looking for water, and so you can actually get the root system of cactus and open that up and get the water out of there because it hasn't actually gone into the cactus. You hadn't been like processed and whatnot, so you can get the water out
So
of
there
those.
you go.
Yeah.
You're trapped in the desert.
Yep.
Go for the roots.
So there's giant cactus farms in the Badlands.
In the Badlands.
Now here's the thing. Now here's the real
No, I
kicker.
thought you were going to say something else because the practical mode of transportation for these
Yeah.
people in the desert
well
turned out to be dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's the issue. That's the thing. Ash and I have like talked about that. She likes doing her world building, and she's really good at the story
She
aspect.
is. Yeah. She is excellent.
And she's like, I just want there to be a mob boss here or whatever. So there is now.
She just
there
picks
is.
one.
And I'm like, well, hold on. We got to look at
Is
the-
this practical?
What's the sociopolitical?
can it really happen?
Yeah. What are the sociopolitical, effects if there's a mob boss here? We got to figure this out.
Oh my God, that's so you.
So
But
I
that's
have.
another thing that you know a lot about. Dinosaurs.
I do know a lot about
Right,
that.
right.
We just said talking about the feathers.
But you loved them as a kid. You were just like fascinated by dinosaurs. Yeah.
He's not fascinated by dinosaurs.
It's a cool subject.
They're cool.
Yeah, they're very cool.
100%.
And we're lucky they're not alive today, so we know they're not going to
sure
eat us.
are.
Right. So you don't have to be terrified. You can learn about them and be like, okay, they're not going to eat me.
Right.
I'm good.
Well, so that's the thing that Ash and I joke about is, right, so she's just like, there is now. And I'm like, well, I have to, what are the implications? And whatnot. So, but the other thing is that this is Dungeons and Dragons. Their magic exists. And
It
so
does.
I'm like, well, I need to make sure that my, like, desert people are completely, like, that it's realistic, guys. I need to make sure that they can actually eat this cactus or
true.
not.
It's
now
true.
they're going to get on their dinosaurs and they're going to leave.
And then, that's true. That's so true about you.
That's the issue.
She believes in the magic, folks, but it's got to be practical.
Well, right, come on. It was, like, I'm not going to just hand
There's got to
wave
be
it.
some reality into it.
Cut to the one place you guys were in that there was just magic everywhere, meat on a stick.
Meat on a stick.
You know,
Yeah.
the Sonic, the Blue Hedgehog restaurant that had roller skates that were magical. I got no.
It's true.
I got
It's true.
no.
I have a magical fish
Yeah.
in a jar that never dies.
I will give no explanation for these things, but my desert people are realistic.
Okay. That's hilarious. That's so you. I'm cracking up about that.
The last thing I'll say, and then I'll
Okay.
let you give your other thing.
Okay. If I can think of one.
Also has to do with my desert people that
Okay.
I built. Falconry.
Oh, yeah.
I know a shocking amount about falconry.
And we've talked
now.
about birds too in the past, and how we find that very interesting. But
Yeah.
you decided to bring that into your
I had to figure out what the
into
fuck
your
falconry
story.
was.
Oh, okay.
I know. In theory, it's when you use falcons to help you hunt. How the hell does it work? Like, what do you mean?
Right. How do they communicate to you?
Right.
If they found something.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
So-
interesting.
so
That's
my-
interesting.
so
So
my-
you did some research.
100%. Because my desert
okay.
people are mostly led by centaurs who have a symbiotic relationship with harpies, so they do the falconry. The harpies are their falcons.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So,
So-
you know, how do they? Now, did you learn about
Oh, yeah.
falconry and how do
Do you
they
know
communicate?
that there's a falconry organization of North America, and you can join it, and you can and if you want to be a certified an official, I don't know,
Falconry
or
person
whatever,
or whatever it's called.
you have to do all this studying. You gotta have the bird. You know what I mean, like a
You have
falcon or
to
something.
own a falcon. Can
Yes.
you even own one?
Yeah, because there's stuff you have to have, and
Wow.
then you have to apprentice under a professional or a master falconer for
Falcon is-
3 years.
Oh my gosh.
In part, that's a part of it.
That's a part
3 years you have to apprentice under this person.
before you can move on to the next level or whatever it is. That's a commitment.
It is. So I learned a lot about falconry.
I'll say. How do they communicate to their person?
Oh, apologies. They don't. I mean, they do, but
Well, what's the point?
they send them up and they spot
Right.
whatever, and then it's you circle it kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Which
now
is
you
what
know.
they would do. And so then the hunter would see them
Yeah,
doing that,
now
and
we-
they know
they
where
head
to
out.
go.
Yep.
Okay, because I'm like, do they have a special call? Do they?
Oh yeah, they can call them back. It's crazy the stuff that they can do with the birds. But yeah, no, that's
So
kind
you
of the
picked
idea.
up that
They-
information now on in your lifetime here. That's
It's true.
hilarious. Now I will tell you that as a teacher, you teach a lot of subjects, especially elementary school. So I didn't, I have my endorsements in every subject, but I taught elementary school, so then I taught everything, right? Third grade, fourth grade, whatever I taught, whatever grade it was.
all of them.
And so in your reading book, you have stories, that you read, and then you do different kinds of activities. And the one story, and this is, I know you probably was on your list, the one story we read in my third grade reader was the story of Shackleton, the expedition. I found this incredibly fascinating, okay? Because
Well, it is.
It is fascinating because this happened in 1914.
Right.
Okay.
Now, I'll also say just real quick, we were talking about things that I thought was going to be more pertinent. The Titanic, I really thought that was going to be more pertinent because that was everywhere growing up. It felt
It's true. It's true.
I really felt like that was
Yeah.
going to be a bigger deal.
Right. If you get on a ship, what do you do? Yeah. Well,
I'm just not going to do that.
I'm just not going to get on a ship. You're right.
But anyway, Shackleton is very
So
fascinating.
this guy named Ernest Shackleton, he is the captain of this ship. Okay, and they're going to Antarctica. Okay, and they're in the Antarctica's Weddell. It's Weddell. Weddell.
Oh,
I'm not.
okay.
I don't have a list. It's Weddell
It's Weddell.
Sea. Okay.
The Widow Sea.
Right. And they, it's obviously cold up there, and it was
Right.
much colder back in 1914 because we don't have the global warming
Yeah.
issue, and the ship gets trapped in the ice. Okay, so it's stuck. It can't go anywhere. It can't go forward. Can't go back.
Right.
And it's stuck in the ice for 10 months.
Oh.
Now they have supplies on the ship, so they're surviving, and they're hoping that they'll have a little bit of a thaw, and eventually they'll
Get out.
get out. But the ice keeps coming in. It keeps freezing, and eventually sinks the ship. So they can hear it cracking, and they hear this noise, and they know it's about to go. And so they get the supplies, and they get off the ship, and so they make camp on the ice.
And do you know how many guys this is?
Yes, I do.
It's not like it's 5 people.
No.
It's a whole crew.
It's a whole crew of 27 men.
20. Yeah.
Okay, so there's 27 guys. Shackleton's the captain. He's in command of this expedition. They get off the ship. They make camp on the ice. and the ship sinks. It's gone.
Yeah. See
Okay.
ya.
So now they've got to find a way to get home.
Yeah.
Okay. So
From Antarctica.
From Antarctica. Okay. And so the story in my book is obviously they simplify it. A couple of the men go and cross these mountains.
Yeah.
And get into, what country would that be?
I mean, maybe they went to South America?
Oh, Elephant Island. Does that sound right?
I don't know. Sure.
So okay, good. Take two. Let's go back.
Okay.
They get off the ship, they make camp, and they make a plan, and they proceed to basically carry everything and walk. Okay. And they get to, I think they get to the Elephant Islands. Okay.
I'm looking at this.
Does that sound right?
Elephant Island is an island.
Okay.
Yes.
So they get there somehow.
But everything's frozen, so that's why they're just because like I'm looking at this
they're
map,
just
and it's
walking.
just water.
They're walking
but it's
across the ocean.
Yeah.
And they make it there. And it's the first time they're on dry land for like almost 500 days. Okay. This is like more than a year that this has gone on. So now at this point, Shackleton and 4 other guys proceed on, okay, because they've got to find somebody. And they get to a whaling station on South Georgia.
Yes.
Okay. It's about 800 miles. They walked 800 more miles.
Yeah.
Crossed the mountains. It was like this treacherous, crazy trip. And then they were like these, I don't know if they were walruses or what, would like come up out of the ocean and try to get them and eat them. Like it was crazy. And they get to the whaling station and they say, our men are on Elephant Island, whatever. They tell them where they're at.
Yeah.
And they go and they rescue them. None of them died. They all survived.
Crazy.
And I think that was like the craziest thing, that it's such an amazing story and none of them died. It's incredible. So if you ever get a chance, read about Ernest Shackleton. It's a crazy rescue mission turned into this rescue mission. And 2 years ago, here's the update. They found the ship.
Oh.
It had sunk, right?
Yeah.
And they found it. And I was just like, what? They found the ship? Like, that's insane, right?
Yeah.
And so there's pictures
That's crazy.
of the ship, and they found it. It's preserved in this, the very icy, very cold water. And
I have
somebody discovered it.
I found an image of like somebody had made a map.
Okay. There it is.
Look at it.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
If you go on history.com, you can read about it. But they've made shows about this story too.
Oh yeah.
I remember my dad watching something, and I'm like, oh, that's a great story.
Yeah.
Freaking out.
So I have I found this map and we'll post it. We'll post it on the teaser. But basically it is so to give you a time frame.
Okay.
December of 1914 through February 1915. The Endurance is the name of the ship, right?
The ship.
Yep. Leaves South Georgia and sails to the Weddell Sea.
The Weddell Sea. Yep.
Okay. They're going through Antarctica. All right. February to October 1915, the Endurance is trapped in the ice. From February to October, they are trapped in the ice.
Just trapped in the ice. It's
stuck.
freezing.
Yes.
It's freezing cold.
They're in Antarctica.
Yeah.
Then, November 1915 through April 1916. Okay. So that is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. 6 months. The ship is finally crushed by the ice and sinks. Shackleton and his men drift on an ice floe, then sail and row in lifeboats to Elephant Island.
Yes. So now they're in lifeboats, and it's like these massive swales in the water, and you're in a tiny lifeboat.
No.
It was so dangerous. They're like, first of all, they're not even sure how they made that trip safely.
Yeah.
So that part, and like when you think about all the pieces, all the different little things that they had to do, and the odds of anyone surviving.
No.
All of these different things, treacherous things that they had to do, is incredible. Well, especially back when you look at the timeline too, when you're talking about 1914, they're not going to have the type of equipment,
right?
Like we would have today, and so it's like, I don't know. It's just, to me, it just kind of, that blows my mind that they were able to do any of it, let alone all of it, and survive.
Well, that's it. So for 9 months they're trapped in the ice. Then for 6 months they row in lifeboats to Elephant Island.
Freezing.
Right. And then
6 months in a lifeboat.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And then April to May 1916, Shackleton and 5 other men then sail a lifeboat 800 nautical miles which is equivalent to 920 miles. It's nautical miles are longer than regular miles.
Okay.
So yeah, 920 miles.
Okay.
To South Georgia in an astonishing feat of navigation skills and human endurance. Once there, they still have to walk for 36 hours across the uncharted island to reach the safety of the whaling station.
They show pictures of them having to cross the mountains, to get to the whaling station because they landed on the wrong side of the island or whatever portion of the island, and they had to go, like you said, another 36 hours or whatever.
And then September, so that's May of 1916. September 1916, 3 months later, the entire crew of the Endurance is rescued from Ellis Island and taken to Chile.
They can't just go back. They have to wait till they can.
3 months.
It takes them that long, whatever. They have to wait for a thaw or whatever. Who knows? I can't remember the whole story that well. But yeah, and then they can go back and get them.
Yeah. So from February, obviously, when they set out December 1914, they're in, the Antarctic basically. But from February 1915, when they are frozen stuck until September 1916.
1916.
Like a year and a half.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That is insanity.
Yeah.
And the guys who are waiting on this, frozen island, freezing.
Yeah.
But they survived.
They survived.
Yeah.
All of them survived.
Some of them, I remember they lost some fingers or something. I mean, they had some frostbite. Frostbite. They had some frostbite. But they survived it. And the thing is, I think, if I remember it right, Shackleton actually went back on another expedition.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I would.
Can you imagine?
Wouldn't catch me there.
You would not go back. Yeah.
Would not catch.
Did that
me
once.
there.
I'm good. Yeah. So that story has always stuck with me. I love it. And just like I said, teaching, like in my science books, you teach space. So of course I love space.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be an astronaut, but I just didn't have the. Oh my God, math and physics is so hard. So it wasn't for me. But yeah, we talked about this because I'm like, when I'm studying to be a teacher, and they're gonna have a teacher go in space.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's it. That's how I'm gonna get to space.
Right.
They picked this teacher. She's so lucky. Oh my God, not lucky at all. Right? I can remember coming home from class, running into the house. I'm gonna watch the launch. Right? And I'm so excited because if she can do this, then anybody can do it, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to be a genius physicist, or whatever to get into space, or you don't have to join the military or whatever. And then
absolute tragedy.
Then the whole thing explodes, and yikes!
One of the worst things. To happen, like our space
program. Yeah, absolutely horrible tragedy. While her family and her students are watching.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I can't. Well, and that's the thing. It's not like it happened on the way back. It happened immediately.
Yeah,
they knew they were gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
nobody was surviving that. And I'm standing there watching this on TV and just like this most devastating moment. Yeah. I was like, okay, I am not going to space. So that did not to be a Debbie Downer, but that I never got to space. But I did love learning about it. I follow NASA on my Facebook.
I do also love space.
Yeah, love it. It's
fascinating. I don't think I want to go.
Yeah, it's quite terrifying.
Yeah, but I think it's cool.
But it's cool as F.
Yep.
Now, my favorite movie, Apollo 13. If you haven't seen it,
great.
It's incredible.
It's a great movie.
It's incredible. Love it.
I mean, even Hidden Figures.
Oh, Hidden Figures, fantastic movie. Love that.
Well,
yeah. So any movie, I'm a sucker for space movies. Absolutely.
Alien,
love it. I have seen
Alien
those
movies.
Is good. It's scary, but I've seen them.
But okay. So I have on a lighter note, space related.
Okay.
Because I knew we were gonna bring up space.
Yeah. You knew I was gonna say that. Okay.
Yes, I have a game. I've made up a game.
Oh, okay.
For us to play. So a lot of animals have been sent into space.
They have. You're right.
So I'm going to say an animal, and you tell me if you think this animal has or has not been to space. Oh my gosh,
because I don't know all of them, that's for sure. Okay. Right. All right. What do you got?
Fruit flies.
No.
They were the first animal to
That was the
space.
First? They sent fruit flies?
Fruit flies. I think the Soviets.
Oh, okay. That's why I don't know
that. So not all of these are NASA.
Understood.
Yeah.
I'm with you now.
Rats.
Yeah, they probably sent rats. No, son of a biscuit.
No one sent a rat.
They sent fruit flies, but not rats. You would think they would send rats for sure. They test everything on rats.
Right.
Right?
No.
Okay.
Scorpions.
That's going to be a yes.
Yep.
Because it's going to be a trick. You tricked me with that one. They sent scorpions and not rats? Mm-hmm. Any idea why?
No.
No.
I just
She just made the list, folks.
Have the list.
Okay.
I had to look them. Well, you're saying
Scorpions.
finding animals that have not been to space much more challenging.
I guess
Because
so.
you have to just have to like process. Like, well, I don't know. I'm just googling random things.
Apparently, whatever they found, they sent it. Not rats, though. I'm still surprised by the rats. Okay.
A sparrow.
A sparrow? No.
No.
No? Okay, because I'm like, you gotta trap this poor thing somehow, and we're
Nope.
just gonna let it fly around.
No birds have been to space.
No birds. Yeah, it seems like that could be dangerous.
Well, they can't actually fly in space
Right.
because birds
Sure.
fly by
There's no
being wings
atmosphere.
and pushing air down, so you can't. But you're just kind of.
They would just be
Float
float
around.
around. That's no good. Okay.
But they have
So it'd be
taken.
hard to strap them in a cedar or something, but I guess
Yeah, well, a little tiny seagull or a little sparrow. They have taken quail and chicken eggs though.
eggs, just to see what they'll do.
Yeah.
Again,
Oh yeah. All of these things are just to
just
observe the
experiment
effects.
and see what happens on the. Okay.
All of the things I have written down. This is not the full exhaustive list.
I see. Okay.
Rabbits.
I'll say yes.
Rabbits have
They
gone.
took rabbits.
have
Okay.
gone.
Okay.
Now there's some obvious ones. Dogs,
Yes.
We know dogs
I
have
know
been to
dog
space.
ways. Yeah.
monkeys,
Yep.
chimpanzee.
Yes.
Yep. All those. Snake.
A snake. Probably yes.
No.
Damn it. Dang it.
No snakes.
It took a scorpion and not a snake.
No
Okay.
snakes. Yep.
All right. Interesting.
Guinea pig.
No.
Yes.
Son of a bitch. They
They
took a
sent
guinea
a
pig
guinea
and
pig.
not a rat? Okay, interesting.
Cat.
I feel like it's a yes, but you're probably going to say no.
It is. They have gone.
They have
Cats
taken,
have gone.
they've sent a cat. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Goldfish.
Yes.
Goldfish have gone. They've
Sent the goldfish. Oh.
Now some of these. Now here's
Even a goldfish has been to space
I'll
and
tell
not
you.
me.
I'll tell you, most of these
I'm with the
animals on these
birds.
expeditions probably did not survive their trips.
Well, it's true. You're right. No, I'm going to believe they all came back happy as could be.
now some of them
Some are up there
are-
orbiting still.
No. What counts? Obviously, it's not all these were put into a rocket and just blasted into
Okay.
the thing. A lot of them are on, like, say, these enormous weather balloons.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And then
but
they-
they've made it to out of the atmosphere,
Yes.
so that counts. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Newts.
Hmm.
Newts.
Newts. That's like a lizard type thing. A newt.
A newt. It's sort of like a salamander, like
Yeah,
a
okay,
little.
okay.
Yeah.
I'll say yes.
They have gone.
Okay.
Pigs.
I'm gonna say no.
Nope. Pigs
They
have
kind
not
of.
gone.
It seems kind of big.
Well, yeah, but I honestly was a little surprised at this because I would have thought they would have taken like baby pigs, like a piglet or something like that.
Well, that's true.
Because pigs are very similar to humans.
that's true.
We test a lot of shit on rats. We test a lot of
shit on pigs.
Shit on pigs.
You're right.
So
A lot of schools, when you are doing like anatomy, you'll dissect a pig.
yeah, fetal
Yeah.
pigs.
Now, when I took anatomy, I dissected a cat. I got some funny
and I get
stories
to
about that.
dissect a cat.
We'll have to let's save it. Save it.
I
gotta
had to
write
take a
this down.
biology class.
Did you
Listener-
dissect anything?
Oh, I've dissected a lot of stuff, but nothing. Listener Katie will know because she was also in my biology
Right.
class.
I mean, in college.
Yeah, in
I
college.
remember you telling me some stuff.
They had like some things that's like we did not dissect it. It's like our teacher or like the upper class had dissected it, but then she left it
and you got to see
so
it.
that we could see it. Yeah. So they
Okay.
had like a big snake and such like that.
Okay.
I don't know if a cat
Oh,
was
okay.
one, but like bigger animals like that, they had like one. And so she would dissect it, or like
and
the
you-
upper class would dissect it, and then
and you
we,
could
the
see it.
freshmen, could come in.
You could come and see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's cool. That's cool.
But we all got to. I mean, we got to do. Oh man, I don't know that I dissect. I did dissect a frog. I did dissect
Oh,
a
a frog. I know some people. I don't know who told me they did a worm.
I did a worm.
Did you do a worm?
High school.
It must have been you. I'm like,
Was
how
not.
did you even
Stupid.
see anything so tiny?
I fucking hated it.
Oh, you hate.
I will say my physiology and pathology, phys path, with Mr. Carmody,
Was Mr.
who
Carmody?
gave us the skinny, the scoop,
Yep,
the
we
poop.
love it. We love it.
We dissected a lot of stuff in that. Now, that though was very different. So that's where I cannot remember if we each got to dissect a fetal pig or if they had one, and then we all had to like identify stuff and whatnot. But we in that class it was less about here's an entire organism and more about we're looking at specific things, right? We're talking
Okay.
about bones, we're talking about whatever. And so we would have bones. We dissected, I think, a sheep eye. Like it was just an eye. And that, I'll tell you what, Gross, very, very cool.
Oh, wow.
Like,
that would be
because
gross. But yes, you're right. Very cool.
So your eye is meant to absorb light, you know?
Yes.
So you have your cornea, right?
Yes.
Your pupil.
Okay.
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 And then you have these rods and cones in your eye that like refracts light, okay? But the back of your eye on the inside is this very weird black color. It is unlike anything I've ever seen, like organic ever, because it is meant to absorb everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
And is that the lens that you're talking about?
No, it's like a film. So like if you were to cut your eye open,
Okay.
on the inside, if it was hollow, the back inside is just lined with this black color kind of thing. It's like a film, like a very thin layer.
That's wild.
Because like I said, so that's like when you're looking at your like your pupil, realistically your pupil is clear because light is passing through it. And so when you're looking at the black, you're looking at the back of your eye.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Well, I remember learning in school that like when you look at something, it's actually your eye perceives it like flipped, and then it flips it back around.
Your brain,
flips it back around. How that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's wild.
That's wild and wacky stuff.
Yeah, that's wild and wacky stuff.
See, that's the thing.
I was trying to figure out what the lens is because I've seen I saw a simulation of like a cataract surgery, and they cut this and they take the lens out that you have, your whatever that is, and they put one back in, a fake one or something.
That's
and then cover it back up, and of course remove all the cataract crap too.
Right.
Well, a lot of people like after they have cataract surgery don't need their glasses that much anymore because they've fixed their vision.
It's crazy stuff that they do.
That's true.
I can't see shit.
Oh my gosh.
But
mine's getting worse, but I still have better vision than you actually, which is wild.
It's true.
Yeah.
For the listeners, the full list I have of animals that have been to space, yes, and for you too, Mom. Fruit flies, snails, bees, scorpions, a rhesus monkey, rhesus something. It's like the monkey you would think with the little tail.
Okay. Yeah.
With the tail, the whole monkey's no tail.
Okay.
I think it's their black, white face.
Kind of the most common
monkey.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Mouse, dogs, rabbit, chimpanzee, guinea pig, cat, tortoises, goldfish, spiders, newts, shrimp.
Spiders and shrimp?
They had 2 spiders because I thought this actually was kind of cool. One was named Arabelle, and I can't remember. And I think the other one was named Arachne. They named them. And they were studying how if they could build webs in zero gravity, like how it would affect their the web design. And it was very cool.
What? That's crazy.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
I thought it was I thought that was very. I was like, I'm not a lover of spiders.
Me either.
Except for that one that has the little maracas that
that's
I posted
true.
previously.
That is my favorite, but only if he has maracas.
Maracas.
And the
little sombrero.
Yeah. If he has maracas, he's out.
If he doesn't have maracas, he's out.
If he doesn't have maracas, he's out. What did I say?
If he has maracas, he's out.
No, if he has maracas, he can stay. Although that might be his way of fooling me. He comes in with the maracas, throws them aside, and bites me. Yeah.
He's trying to woo you. He's doing his mating dance.
No, he's not wooing me. He's gonna
cha-cha-cha.
He's gonna trick the listeners. She's sitting here with her hands in the air.
Do you have a skinny scoop poop?
I have a brief skinny scoop poop. Because I heard this information and I thought it was pretty cool. And it actually ties in because I was triggered twice.
Okay.
But I should have said I was not triggered. Because when you say you're triggered, it's typically something that's negative.
Right. Like sort of like a PTSD kind of thing.
Right. It reminds you of something terrible that maybe has happened in your past, right? Mm-hmm. You say you're triggered.
Or triggers like an anxiety attack or something like that. So
Okay. But so I learned that the opposite of that is called a glimmer.
Oh.
If you have a glimmer moment, it reminds you of something positive. Oh. It takes you back to a positive time or event or whatever, and it makes you happy. It makes you laugh or whatever. You remember this event.
Interesting.
Right? Because I literally had 2 as we were sitting here discussing. I had 2 glimmers. One, I was driving and I was going too fast around the corner. And what was the other one? I can't remember. Oh, the Smokey the Bear. Only you can remember his forest fires.
I don't know if that was a glimmer.
It was just me.
I don't know if it was a glimmer.
I'm not sure. It really wasn't. wasn't a terrible event.
You know what?
But I did think I was the chosen one there for forest fires for a moment.
On those school talks,
Okay.
we had another one that they would come out and it was all about electrical safety. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
That like if you're in your car, power lines fall over or whatever, like what you're supposed to do.
Don't get out of your
Do
car.
not get out of your car,
Right,
listener.
Right.
Stay in the car.
You can still be electrocuted in your car, I'm afraid to say, but should definitely not.
Right,
get
but
out of your car.
but your tires do insulate you to a certain extent.
To a certain extent.
They help. So if you don't need to get out of the car, don't get out of the
Right,
car.
don't get
Wait
out of the
for
car.
people to come get you.
Don't
Call
stick your hand
somebody.
out and grab the line.
No,
there are many
that
things
is a live wire.
you should not do. Oh yeah, I remember that. Like don't be sticking stuff in the outlet and.
But if you have to get out,
of the car. Okay.
like let's say your car's on fire,
Abby's gonna give us a tip.
there's
'cause
some live
that's
wires
true.
on
What
the
if there's a
ground.
live wire and your car's on fire? Okay. What
Because
do we
you've
do?
crashed. Okay, well,
What do we do, Abby?
the way that electricity works is that it has to complete a circuit.
It does.
Okay, so when you get out of the car, if you typically the way that you are electrocuted and you die is when you take a step because you step. Now you have 2 points on the ground. Electricity goes through you.
created a circuit.
you die.
A closed circuit, and you die. Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
So the guy always said you put your feet together and then you hop. And I feel like the safer bet would be to just hop on one foot.
1 foot.
Right.
Because if you don't hop perfectly on 2 feet, if one hits a second later, boom, fried.
Right. But realistically, you could also do
But if you hop on 1 foot and then you fall,
right.
then,
So
then is that creating
my
because your feet might come up off the ground and you land on your booty? Does that create a complete circuit?
well, as long as you're only touching at
One point.
point.
There's only 1 point at a time.
Yes. Now don't fall because getting back up, good luck.
So what if you hop out of the car onto 1 foot and then literally hop foot?
That was going to be my
foot?
recommendation.
Oh,
I was
there you go.
I was going to say
There you
like,
go.
that's probably
'Cause
the best bet. But
my
really,
initial
also
thought-
stay in the car.
Well, if you can.
Yes.
But if it's on fire or if there's a dinosaur maybe attacking the car,
Who can say?
well, maybe you don't want to get out of the car then. That was a silly
No.
thing. I was thinking Jurassic Park.
Yeah, but what are you supposed to do? One supposed to just stay there and get eaten?
Well, where are you going to go? As soon as you get out of the car, he's going to eat you.
And you're saying that there's a live wire?
Yeah.
Well, the T-Rex is probably dead then.
Oh, okay. So problem solved.
Problem solved.
Okay.
Problem
Okay.
solved.
Problem solved. What if your car is on a cliff? There probably won't be electricity lines up there.
No, probably not.
I was like, somebody would.
I do have. I know you have a fear of bridges and whatnot.
terrifying fear of bridges.
So
Really
here's the
don't
thing.
like them.
If you're in your car, in the water, okay, and you can't get the door open because of the pressure, what you're supposed to do, roll the window down.
As you're falling,
bit.
you're supposed to have enough wherewithal to roll your
No,
window down.
no, when you're
Oh.
in the water. When,
Oh,
like
I see.
I'm.
What
not
if you have an
saying-
electrical window and it doesn't roll down because you're
Well,
in
you
the
better
water?
fucking wing it.
Someone told me that as you approach the bridge, you should roll your window down a little bit. That way you're
Oh,
prepared.
Interesting.
That's what I. That's,
Well, if you-
remember back when the earthquakes was going to kill us all. Back when, well, you don't remember this because you weren't born. It was like 91 or
Well,
something.
I think
was
we're
teaching.
still there.
Yeah, and there was this whole thing about the earthquake. It's any time now. Any time now, it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're driving over to St. Louis or back from St. Louis, you're going to die because
Like I
you're-
did.
Right, you're going to be on a bridge, and when the bridges go, that's it. So I can remember telling Wayne, okay, when you drive over there, as soon as you approach the bridge, crack your window.
Well, let's tell the listener why.
Thinking if you're going to survive
Let's tell the
that
listener
fall.
why.
Okay.
If you have manual windows, you can do this after you get your car in the water.
This
now,
is true.
hopefully that you have survived the fall. But also, this could be if somebody has trapped you and they have driven your car into a lake or
It's
something.
true. It's
okay.
true. Right.
Typically, you can't get out because of the pressure of the water pushing.
Yes,
on
you
the-
can't. You're not
on
going to be able to open your door. Yeah.
No.
Too much
So,
pressure.
so if you have manual windows and you can crack your window a little bit, do that. Or, like we said, preemptively roll your window down just in
Be
case.
prepared.
So, if you survive the fall, congratulations, you're on to step 2.
Okay.
But cracking the window allows water to come into the car, and
As long as
once
your
you
car
get
to sink
enough,
faster.
yes. But your car is sinking anyway.
It is.
That air inside the car is not enough to keep you buoyant.
It is not. It is not.
Those tires not helping.
No.
But
The water comes in. It allows you to what?
Well, it equalizes the pressure.
Okay.
So that you can open the door
You
and
can
swim
open
out.
your door.
Now, I
Okay.
will say, listener, if this happens to you in the Mississippi River, it doesn't matter. The undertow got you.
Yeah,
You're done.
It's too
So,
too heavy of a current.
Hopefully this happens to you not at all.
No, we're going to hope that this never happens to you. But we are nothing but thoughtful to our listeners.
Hopefully.
And we're giving you great survival tips.
Hopefully, if this happens to you, it's in like a lake.
It's in a sedentary body of water, yes, not a river. Because the river,
well, the Mississippi particularly.
Mississippi especially, yeah. So
that's the thing. The undertow of it, you'd be in the water. You can't swim in the Mississippi. For the listeners who don't know, you cannot swim in the Mississippi because the current underneath is so strong it will suck you down and you will
take you away.
You're gone.
Yeah.
See
Yeah,
ya.
terrifying.
Wouldn't want to be ya.
That's a terrifying thought. I mean, that actually happens in the Merrimack River. A lot of people get.
There's a lot of
drowned.
rivers like that. People just don't really understand.
Yeah,
I'm a strong
well, it
swimmer.
doesn't look that
You ain't
big.
that strong.
No, not that. I'm not. I'm certainly not that strong. Nobody is probably right.
I don't know.
I don't know.
You could look it up later, but I don't
That's
know
a
that
scary
everybody
thought. That's a scary thought.
Swam the Mississippi. I don't know.
Plus, not to mention, it's pretty gross. Don't try it. It's not.
There are no aqueducts cleansing that.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. There's a lot of barge activity through there.
A lot of barge
It's
activity.
not it's not super clean. Not super clean.
Oh, boy.
But yeah, we got to make sure we give our listeners some helpful safety tips here.
Yeah.
Roll that window down as you're approaching the bridge.
Yep.
I will tell you, we were approaching the bridge. We were going. Oh, we didn't discuss this. We went up north to Moline, right, for a book signing, author event, which is exciting. I don't think we've talked about this before. We read the book Remarkably Bright Creatures.
Yep.
By Shelby Van Pelt. Is that right?
Yes. Shelby Van Pelt.
And there was a book event, and we drove ourselves up there for 4 hours, and she was awesome. And it was
She gave a little talk.
Excellent.
She signed her
event,
books.
Signed her books.
And then we drove 4 hours back.
And then we drove back. So
That was a long day.
that was a very long day.
That was a Wednesday.
That was a Wednesday. Don't judge. We know that maybe wasn't the smartest of decisions. No, but we had a great time.
We got to see
We
listener
got to see
Kate.
Kate, and we had a great time. We had a lot of fun on the drive.
It was.
We had a lot of fun on the drive home. Played a lot of card games to stay awake on the way.
A lot of card games, not card, but
card
card
games.
A lot of alphabet games.
But I will tell you, as we were driving there, I was driving on the way up because it was light and I could see, and no one told me there was going to be a bridge. And all of a sudden, I come up and come upon this bridge, and I'm like, oh, there's a bridge. I was not mentally prepared.
And then we're like, relax. We might do your box breathing.
But my daughters had taught me
box breathing.
some excellent tips on how to cross the bridge
Stay
without
calm.
having a panic attack now.
It's true.
And so I tell myself who I am. I say, I'm Anna Willem, and I'm a badass bitch. And
That's your
as I'm driving, I literally say, I'm a badass bitch, and I can do this. And then I do my box breathing and get across the bridge.
Yep.
And that's what I do.
Maybe talk
And-
about
and
box
it
breathing
works.
on another
Another
We
episode.
could thank J-Dog for the box breathing.
It gets me through a lot. Let me
It
tell
does.
you. So
It'll get you through.
It'll get you through.
It'll get you through.
So yeah, well, you're right. We're gonna have to give that safety tip because you don't want to have a panic attack while you're crossing the bridge.
Or in general.
In general, period. You're right. Nobody wants a panic attack. So
It's true. Well, that's probably about all we got here
I don't
today.
have time for today. All right, put that down for leftovers. Box breathing. And I have a stories about dissecting a cat. I'll have to share with you.
Okay.
That's some leftovers.
Well,
too.
I've got stuff about a cult in Tennessee that my DM on Monday nights told me about.
A cult in Tennessee. Excellent. All right. Well, that's for next time, maybe.
Yep.
Or who knows? We'll get to it. We'll probably
Who can
forget for
say?
next time, but who can say? We wrote it down.
I'm writing it down right now.
Excellent.
Dissection, you said?
Dissection. I'm telling you.
All right.
All right. Well, I don't know about you guys, but after this, I'm going to need some serious beef.
And some serious box breathing.
Bye. Bye.